Hello and namaste to everyone joining us today from around the globe. This is me, Jesse Shuman Krishna Shrestha, 2019-2020 JCI APDC Development Officer, appointed for Sri Lanka and Laos from Nepal. I am pleased to welcome you all today in APDC Connects Together Future Forward. Please keep streaming to www.jcipdc.com and our Facebook official page for exciting content. It's live. Today we have very special guest as a speaker to discuss and talk about leadership journey local to global, how we start this leadership journey from local level to national level to global level, and sum up with this all the experience and all the training. Here is JCI Senator Rajendra Bahadur Shrestha, founder president, 1973 JCI Biratnagar, 1976 JCI Nepal national president, and 1977 first JCI vice president from Nepal. Now let me take the opportunity to introduce our today guest, JCI Senator Rajendra Bahadur Shrestha. He is a renowned management consultant and motivational trainer. He has been involved for more than 4 decades as management consultant in various professional organizations. He has conducted more than 1,000 national and international training, seminar, workshop, symposium, and webinars. His academic and training background: post-graduation economics and agro extension from Allahabad University, management by objective diploma from Switzerland, transitional analysis diploma United States of America, MSc in Value Education and Spiritual from Anamali University, Chennai, professional training in motivation leadership, time management, servant leadership, event management, effective public speaking, conflict and stress management, and team building from India, Pakistan, and USA. His recent work affiliation is like team leader in RBS Research and Training Consultant, advisor to president of FNCCI, is a federation of Nepalese Chamber of Commerce and Industry, senior advisor in Hotel Association of Nepal, chairman in Kathmandu Valley College, and chairman International Center of Academic Research and Development. He have various experience in major consulting work like International Labor Organization, ILO, IPEC, sponsored by a NASPIC project, IADC Nepal, UNV, and NDS Corporate Social Responsibility. Also, he have served in various chief trainer in various level in ICMA, Dhaka, Bangladesh. And socially, he's active in different organizations like the JCI, and also in the Rotary, founder president. Also, he is the team leader of Nepal. This is an aspect support organization in Japan, 1975. And he was the award judging chair in JCI World Congress held in Johannesburg, South Africa, 1977. And he is the epidemic trainer in 1979-80 and JCI Prime trainer in 1988. And also is a founder president of Rotary Club of Rajdhani and assistant governor, Rotary International District 3290, Nepal, Bhutan, till 2007. And he was recently honored week back by NHRO, National Human Rights Organization, and organization registered with the Niti Aayog of India for his outstanding contribution towards fight against COVID-19. So he have traveled around 40 countries in Europe, Asia, Africa, North America, Caribbean, and different part of the world. So before handing over this floor to speaker, I would request all the JCS viewer, if you have any question, please drop your queries in chat box. And today's the topic is leadership journey local to global. We shall divide our session in 3 parts. Before starting the session, I want to share the screen and play some his memory snap, which he have shared with me. It's totally the memory what you have shared with me. I'm gonna share. Is it visible? Yes. So this is this few memory which you have seen in local level organization in back in 70s. You can have very historic snaps. Is a time where they have a program.
Well, these photographs are pretty old photographs. The quality is not good. Well, these are a few of the projects that are LOM organized back in 73. This is the photo of a school project that we did. We have a world president there. Well, this is a fellowship time. The person with the white shirt is the world president. This is a fellowship time. Well, we are very active in training programs in the 70s and 80s. This is the scene of that. This is again the school project. The beautiful girls that you see in the blue saris, they're all the teachers, and I'm in the middle. All of the guys standing there are my colleagues in Biratnagar JCs. They're all photographs. Well, this is again the school, which is still running. It's a 47 years old school. These are few of my colleagues whom I miss. These photographs, when I see, they charge me, to speak today. And this is about my Nome life, which started in 75 and 76. This was when I got elected as the national president back in 76. Well, this was with Sonny Belmonte, the world president of 1976 from Philippines. He's currently the speaker of the Parliament of Philippines. This was a fun time with GCI vice president when he visited Biratnagar. We were just dancing, Train the Trainers program. This was of 1980. Well, this was in 75 when I visited Japan to attend the ASPEC. And I see a very old friend of mine, Ken Hiroi of Sapporo. This was, I think, dinner photos. And he hosted us, in Sapporo, in Inago. The next photograph is with his wife. The boy and the girl must have grown old. And it was a very sad news that Ken Hiroi lost his wife, that you can see her there. The old memories from my old album. Well, this is with the world president from India, Kumar Gira. The person on my left is Ken Hiroi again. And besides Ken Hiroi is Ted Takarada, I think the APDC counselor. That year I did the training for APDC, I believe, 78. This was the convention that I chaired, the third national convention back in 1976, which was hosted by Partha JCs. Well, this is the photograph, which reminds me of the days, 76, my goodness, how many years back, 44 years back. The person who is in front of the mic is the General Legal Counselor, the second president after our founder president. Well, this was the host president, Kedar Bahadurji and Ratnamanji. What a nice moment. Next, Suma. Well, this is when I was national president, I had my lone president, Gaurilal Shrestha. This is, again, the global life. I represented my country, 76, in St. Louis, Missouri. This is with the Secretary General of JCI, Ivan Bumstead. I still remember the name. This is a very good friend of mine, Carl Peterson, who became world president later. But 77, he lost the election in 76, and Millie's there. I heard Millie's no more in this world, but very good friend of mine, Carl Peterson. Well, I forgot the name of this old man, but he was very popular, whom I met in St. Louis, Missouri during the World Congress in 76. And you can see my beautiful wife. She's still beautiful. Okay, next. Well, this was a fun time. I think she's from Denmark, Lars, if Lars is there. Next. Well, this was with my Filipino friend. I forgot his name. Again, this is with my Nepalese delegation. This was a Japan night. Japan used to have a fantastic good night, And this is my good old friend, JCI Vice President, Tai Ho Lee from Korea. Oh, this is a very interesting moment. I'll narrate the story later. This is the board of 1976. This was the caucus period, I'll talk when I'm talking about my global experience. And this was in Johannesburg. I was sharing the awards night. This again, Johannesburg. This was with the convention director, the conference director. Thank you very much, Suman. Thank you.
Yep. So that's a lot of memories we share before starting a session. So now, before starting a session, we'll be talking about like your local gnome life, global life, and that we can join in last and say that the today's session regarding the local to global that can be summarized. So starting a session, please let us know when did you join JCI and what are the major achievement you have from your gnome life, so that can be known by all the members joining here. We have a lot of the member from Nepal, Bangladesh, India, and Mongolia from around the globe. So please, the floor is
Thank
yours.
you, Suman. First of all, let me address uh, the First Lady from Bangladesh, the JCI APDC chair for 1920, Rumana, a beauty with brain, I'll call her. I have had a few meetings with her. It was so kind of you, Rumana, to invite me and to get connected again with the international community. Thank you very much, Rumana. I'd like to address all the JCI officers who are present at this event, all the APDC counselors, the development officers, the national presidents of different nomes, the leaders of different nomes, and my fellow Nepali GCs of, I see a few past national presidents also. I can see my host chapter past president Sandesh, and a lot of Nepalese friends will know about the different glorious moment that we have had at the loam level, at the national level, at the international level. But since this is for very uh, different communities from different people, I'll try to make as interesting as possible. I'd like to open the my memory pages. I mean, Suman was so kind to show you different phases of my JC's attachment at the local level, at the national level, at the international level. Suman, I think you're divided into three parts, right? I'll first of all talk about my experiences, my life at my loam. Then I'll talk, a second part will be my national experience at the NOM level. I was EVP back in 75 and 76, I was national president, and 77 as JCI vice president at the last. And if there are any questions at the end. Let me begin. I mean, let me tell you for your kind reference that in Nepal, the JC movement started in 1964, 56 years back. And our founder president was a very, very eminent personality of our country, a very young secretary then in 1964. He was the Secretary of Finance Planning. Later on, Dr. Bhek Bahadur Thapa, who is our founder president, became ambassador to US, ambassador to India. He also became a finance minister. And we have had very, very big personalities of different fields at the national president. But you see, 64, it was established, but to get affiliated with JCI, you got to have the loams. So you didn't have loams, So in 1970, to get ourselves affiliated formally with JCI, we got to have loams. So two loams came in existence, Patan and Kathmandu. Suman is from Kathmandu. I can see, do I see anybody from Kathmandu? I can see Sarat Krishna Shrestha, yes, the past national president from Kathmandu. These were the first two loams because that was the criteria. Sarat, yeah, nice having you, Sarat.
And I'm from Patan, sir.
Oh, you're from Patan. Sorry. Patan is all the time very, very committed loam, and Kathmandu is no less. Anyway, we got affiliated back in 1970. And you see, I used to live in Kathmandu. I was serving SATA, the Swiss Association for Technical Assistance, as consultant. But due to various social reasons, because we had our agricultural land in the eastern part of Nepal, which is called as Biratnagar, the second big town, I moved from Kathmandu to Biratnagar in 68, 69. But I used to see JC's meeting in the old hotel called Paras Hotel. That was the den where these big sorts used to meet, who were elderly people. And I used to go and see them. Well, I didn't know much about JCs, and they used to tell me, let's have a loam in Biratnagar. Well, for everything, you got to have the correct time. 71 passed away, 72. And 73, I still remember, we had as I told you, Biratnagar is the first industrial town of the country, second big town. The first industries, Biratnagar jute mill got established there. And there was a big industrial conference back in 73, I think in the month of February. And fortunately, in attendance was the general manager of NIDC, Nepal Industrial Development Corporation, who was the national president back in 73, Prem Prakash Shrestha. And he caught hold of me. Rajendra, you have been just running away. Now is this the time that we should have a loom in Biratnagar? I was a bit hesitant, but since he had come from Kathmandu and senior to me, I said, come on, let's have a tea next morning. And he was there. And I called a few friends. I still remember Gyanchand Duggad, a very close friend of mine. Unfortunately, we lost him 2 years back. And there was a second generation industrialist of Gulcha organization, Lokman Gulcha. Then a few of my friends like Devendra Kumar Malla. Then there was a guy who was general manager of Morang Hydro, Min Bahadur Rawat. There was a guy in Nepal Industrial Development Corporation, Krishna Pradhan. Then a good friend of mine who was doing a shoe business, Devendra Kumar Malla, and I called, and my cousins, Jitendra, Narendra, and all. So we collected. And Prem Prakash just motivated us to have a loan. Well, I was not interested because I was a little busy with my consultancy in sugar mills. And that was the season time, and I didn't have much time. I said, but he insisted that I should be the provisional president. Anyway, as fate will have it, we had the third loan. And I think it was the month of March, we formally got affiliate. Anyway, the rest is history, we did a lot of projects. And of my friends, the then friends, 1973, 74, I think I was 2 years loan president. I used to have little difference with my friends of my age in Katma and Patan. You know what, they used to say that since every year the leadership changes, we shouldn't have permanent project. And I was all the time insisting on, if an institution has to sustain, you should have a solid, permanent, sustainable project. Anyway, the difference was there. But when I came back to Biratnagar, then I started thinking, what kind of project we should have. And, the problem was there at house. My daughter was 3.5 or 4 years old. And all of our friends had children, 3, 4 years old. And we didn't have a good school in Biratnagar, a private school. We had government school, of course, but no English medium school. So suddenly idea came into my mind. And I was a mad person, I tell you. We didn't have money, but we thought of opening a school. And that was for our children. So I put that thing in our executive meeting and everybody started laughing. You don't have money, you think about this big project. Well, you got to be mad, Rumana, to get things done. Anyway, I started thinking now how to get, and everybody thought, okay, let's have this school. I still remember a friend of mine who was the vice president, Devendra Kumar Malla, said, Rajendra ji, you are thinking about mountain. We are just at the foothill. How can we have this school? And then let's dream about it. Okay, a bright idea came into my mind that we didn't have I'm talking about a situation of 47 years back. It's not the mobile age, it's not the television age. We didn't have television. We had the operator assistant telephone network, of 230. You got to just call the operator and she'll get you connected. And we didn't have the telephone directory. So I thought that a bright idea came in. How about printing a telephone directory and we'll collect some advertisement and out of the money that we'll have, we'll open a school. Anyway, we decided about the advertisement rate. You'll not believe the highest rate was 500 rupees of the last page and inner pages were 150, 200, something like that. Now, we decided to go for the ad campaign to get the advertisement to print that directory. So first of all, we 3 or 4 persons went to the then chief of our zone, zonal commissioner. We don't have that post now. They used to be just like king, of that zone. And he had recently come. His name was Birendra Bahadur Shah. So we went there. We wanted to inaugurate from his hand, and we told him about our project. He saw these young guys. I said, no, I had to. He had just come, 15 or 20 days before he has taken over that position of zonal commissioner. With a very fearful voice, I said, Zonal Commissioner Saab, we have this project of opening a school, so we want to print a telephone directory, and we are in the advertisement campaign, so we'd like to have advertisement from you. So what are the rates? I said, we expect the last page advertisement. How much is the price? We said, it's a 500. He said, 500? That low? We'll give you 5,000. I started looking at my friend's face. They're not very happy. And I got the clue. You know what I said to Zone Commissioner? I said, sir, we don't need 5,000. We just 500 will be enough. If we need help, we'll come later. But, he just gave the check of 5,000 rupees, which we never wanted to have. And the same evening, there was a reception of the Zonal Commissioner, where a lot of industry, businessmen, everybody had come. And suddenly the Zonal Commissioner, I have already told you, the big boss of the zone, with the power that they used to enjoy from the king, we had a panchayat system. So he started praising JCs. He said that, you see, the organization should be like the JCs, they came with the advertisement proposal. They said 500 rupees. I said 5,000. They were not interested to take. And everybody started clapping. And that was the magic moment for us. The flow of advertisement was so much that we had to stop. We had enough advertisement. But unfortunately, Birata didn't have the good press. And we wanted to have, we are so enthusiastic to print a beautiful telephone directory. And we didn't have a press. So a few of us went to Calcutta, which is a one-night journey in India. We went there. And finally, the telephone directory was printed. And there is another story related with the telephone directory. You see, there was a GC's creed in English. We believe that faith in God gives meaning and purpose to human life, that the brotherhood of man transcends the sovereignty of nation, everything in English. I had a sudden idea that if JC has to go into the nook and corner of this country, we should make it, we should translate that into Nepali. But I was not very good in Nepali, But anyway, I attempted. I read that creed 50 times. Suman, that press, I still remember that moment, And after reading 50 times that English creed from 6 lines, naturally the government should be of laws rather than of men was the most attractive line for us out of the 6 lines. You see, we call that, we are the Hindus, Saraswati. I think it's not written by me, it was not translated by me. I'm not that good in Nepali. Anyway, Saraswati, I think, sat on my hand and I started translating. हामीलाई विश्वास छ कि ईश्वरमा आस्था मनुष्य जीवनलाई सार्थकता एवं उद्देश्य प्रदान गर्छ. My goodness, I didn't know, I was not that expert in Nepali. A government should be of laws rather than of men. शासन व्यक्तिको होइन विधिको हुनुपर्दछ कि मानवताको सेवा नै जीवनको सर्वोत्तम कार्य हो. Anyway, that was a history, and still now, Romana, we recite creed not in English. We recite our creed in Nepali. I feel so proud. And that creed created a lot of problem also, which I'll be narrating later. Anyway, these are a few glorious moments, and we raised 15,000 rupees. And out of that 15,000 rupees, we opened this school. And after 3 years, we saved the money and we bought the land.
So that was half. Amazing. Yeah, that was the amazing thing. We get to know how the Jesus movement, how the leadership start in the local level.
Exactly.
So, doing this because we are having 3 different parts, Rajendra sir. So we get to know that how local level leadership started, and that now could you share us about like how and what are the major achievements, how you did ahead in a national level life?
Okay. Well, 73, I got to add one thing. And we had 3 loams, but we had never met. In 74, Biratnagar JC decided to have a national meet, and we wanted to celebrate the 10th anniversary. JC was established in 64 and we had never met officially. So Biratnagar JC hosted the 10th anniversary, and that was the culmination year we decided to have the first national convention. I want to put that into history. And 1974 was the first national convention, which was held in Kathmandu. Anyway, as Suman, you said, it was 73 and 74, my experiences with my loam. And given the time, well, I have been JCI Vice President, I was National President, EVP. But given a JC life, again would like to become loam President. That was the beautiful moment, I tell you, the camaraderie, the friendship, the amount of labor. I mean, the amount of labor that we put to understand JCs, to know about the personal development, the leadership development. That was the formative year of our life, and all of us had just entered into a career. These were the glorious moments. Now coming to the second part, Suman, 74, First National Convention, my loam put me as a candidate for EVP. And fortunately, there was an election in Kathmandu and I got elected not as VP, I got elected. I had a very quick rise, in 75. For 75, I was elected as EVP. And I tell you, I was a very lucky EVP because our national president, Jagdish Bhakta Mathema, a very good friend of mine, a very hardworking guy, was the boss of American Library. He couldn't move around much, because of his official presence, that he had to be present in office. So I had the opportunity of traveling around, So I was instrumental in running around here and there, and I wanted to just spread this JC movement, Why limit it to Kathmandu, Patan, and Biratnagar? So we went to Taran, then we went to a lot of places, I think Pokhara, for that matter, Janakpur, etc. I was a really extension man, and these, I feel very happy that these institutions are still there. So 75 was a glorious, milestone for me. And there was ASPAC conference. We used to call it Asia Pacific Conference, you call it as, and that was in Sapporo in 75. I led the delegation because, as I said, I was lucky guy. I led the delegation because the national president, Jagdish Bhakta Mathema, couldn't go. So there were 14 guys, we went to Sapporo. And that was my turning point of my JC career, Suman. My dear friends, had the opportunity of meeting a lot of people from all around Asia Pacific, made a lot of friends. The way the conference was organized, the way the timely things were happening, And that was the year UNAGO JC and Kathmandu JC had this sister city relationship. And I had the pleasure to sign as a witness. And UNAGO JC and Kathmandu JC are still having their sister city relation. It has been 45 years. And 75, His Majesty the King, who was our Patron-in-Chief, had declared Nepal as a zone of peace. And that has really touched me. And you see, if the countries which are far away from Nepal had given support to zone of peace, but our few neighbors had not given support. But I talked to the neighbors, our immediate neighbors, and they were very happy to know about the zone of peace, and they readily said, come on, we're going to support. Okay, I had that mandate also from almost 20-25 nomes who are represented in that aspect. And I should not forget to mention the name of a very good friend of mine who was the JCI Vice President 75, David Chuaunsu, a big brother, of Asia Pacific. He said, he saw my performance, and I won three award. Nepal was into the picture, Asia Pacific, the first time. And Patan Loam had won the award because they had done a very good industrial fair. Biratnagar JC's won the award for the school project that we did. And Kathmandu JC's, I think, did some boot polish project, the fundraising by boot polishing, at that people could vote. Anyway, we got 3 awards, and our performance, I mean, all the delegation performance, very good. So David said, will you be interested for JCI vice president? I said, well, I'm EVP, I'm not national president. Let me see. So he got angry with me. I'm giving you an offer of JCI vice president. You see, I would like to see. I said, yes. Well, everything will have time, Dave. Thank you very much. And I still remember 1976 world president Sonny Belmonte was there, who is now, as I said, the Speaker of the House. He's an old man, but a dynamic guy. He said, Rajendra, if you're interested, the Philippines will support you. Anyway, a lot of friends. Then we went to Sapporo. We went to Yunago, Total Prefecture. All of us, the 14 people, were given a very good home hospitality. The friendship, the love, the fellowship that the Yunago JCs gave to us is still memorable. It seems as if it happened yesterday, and a fasting friendship that we could make. This was 75, Suman. Then 75, Biratna JC had the opportunity of hosting the second national convention. And there I was the candidate, and I won the election and got elected as the national president in 76. I had a very quick rise, 73, 74 lone president, 75 EBP, 76 national president. My emphasis that time, I mean, our emphasis, I'll say, sorry if I've used I had a very good team. We had a very good team. I still remember our Secretary General, who was Secretary General in 75. And in JC, there's no convention of repeating this post, but I passed from the General Assembly that I must have Bala Prasad Shrestha as the Secretary General. But the way, the efficiency that I showed as Secretary General, and I used to live in Biratnagar, and I said the lack of communication. And he had an old typewriter with him, and he used to just give a type, send it. It was so difficult, And we had only half acre of land in Kathmandu, which is just lying barren. We just made a small hut, something like that, which was given to us by then His Majesty. That's a long story. To cut the story short, anyway, it was a very challenging moment, Suman, and we also extended quite a few loans then, but the emphasis was in training. If JC, the leadership building organized, if JC, the personality development organized, we should have trainings. And I had that passion, for training. I still remember we started the parliamentary procedure training. Then we started, I still remember the LIA course, Leadership in Action. That was a very popular course. It was a 5-day course. And I studied that manual, and we organized 2 or 3 times, once in Kathmandu and twice in Biratnagar. A lot of my friends from Pokhara, from Janakpur, from Kathmandu, from Patna used to come to Biratnagar, And that was the glorious moment, the community that we had on training. And I must tell you about one project. Japan JC used to organize the youth voyage, where 2 guys used to be picked up from every nome from the Asia Pacific region, and then take them in the ship. And that has struck my mind, how about standing mountain voyage in Nepal? We have such a beautiful mountains. How about inviting them, they'll come on their own, and we'll host a week of mountain voyage. But unfortunately, due to various reasons, we could not have that. But I tell you, as national president, the amount of reverence that JC's earned because of our oratory, because of our discipline, because of the different projects, I think Nepal JC's was a name to reckon with. And we had one big advantage, because that was an individual rule, and that was, and pattern in chief was our king. That was a big advantage. Anyway, that was 1996, Suman. We had a wonderful time as a nome. A nome life was a wonderful time.
Yeah, perfectly. And you are so correct, Rajendra sir. Now, we know like how locally and how nationally we should be moving ahead for leadership, and how we should serve and to be a better leader. So now moving ahead, now we are in the of the session also. So could you please share us about your experience in global life, in global JCI life, and also all the three part, local, national, and global level. So how the young leadership can take the leadership ahead, and how they can learn from this all thing in the show.
Thank you, Suman. I think the experience of 47 years cannot be described in 1 hour. I know. I'll just go into nutshell. Well, 1976, there was a proposal of how about for JCI vice president. And a few of my friends indirectly told me that this is not the right time for JCI vice president because, you see, I'd like to put in record that in 71, a dynamic a lady, Mrs. Ambika Shrestha, our national president, 69, 70, contested for JCI VP in Hawaii World Congress. And by the way, Mrs. Ambika is the first lady national president of the whole world. And there's a photograph of her in JCI Secretariat. And she, I'm just narrating you because I'd like to give a background of JCI VP. She contested the election, and the big country's leaders said that we don't vote for you because you are a lady. We are not ready to have a lady JCI VP. So Ambika, please step down. This brave lady said, no, I'm not going to step down. I'm going to fight the election. And she fought the election bravely. Well, she could not make it, but she won the heart. So this background was there. So there was not much positivity for the position of JCI VP. Anyway, I put a condition. It was passed by our NOM board that I should go for JCI VP candidacy. Our patent-in-chief was His Majesty. I put a condition that unless I have an audience from a patent-in-chief, I'm not going to fight election. And in those days, it was very difficult to have audience. Anyway, we had the audience. And it's a long story. I had the opportunity of meeting His Majesty because to his personal secretary, I put this thing that Zone of Peace has been accepted at the non-governmental level, at the GCI level. And His Majesty was so happy to know that. And he was so pleased. He not only encouraged me to fight election, he even gave me 10,000 rupees to fight the election. He was so happy that we are going to have Zone of Peace at the non-governmental level. And with that money, that was the fare from Kathmandu to St. Louis. We had I think 6-member delegation. We reached St. Louis, Missouri, was the World Congress. Nobody knew where Nepal is. Well, I said, I come from the land of Mount Everest. They said, Mount Everest in India. Where is Mount Everest? This in India. I said, I come from the land of Buddha. Again, India. My wife was wearing sari, this is India. Nepal was not known, I tell you, my dear friends. So I requested her to wear the bakhus, the Tibetans one. She had carried that. Anyway, it took me 5 days to let the people know where Nepal stands. And, it was a very tough election. There were, I think, 25 candidates for 16 seats. I must tell you, I have a sleepless nights telling people about where my country is, meeting people of different norms of a tough election. On the caucus, my English caucus was pretty good. The French caucus was good. The photographs that I saw, my South American caucus, there, when I appeared, there was a Spanish translator. And one question came from the participant, from the voter, that if you're elected as JCI VP, Mr. Shrestha, you don't know the Spanish language. How you are going to communicate? And after translation, when it came to me, I immediately said, yes, I know your language. I can very easily communicate in your language. They were flabbergasted. They started, their eyes were so big. I said, what kind of language, I said, I know your language. That language is JC language. And everybody started, they started, gave me a standing ovation, and I got 100% vote from South America. Anyway, that is history. I got elected as JCI VP. And since Nepal was the first country to get affiliated, the then world president, Ronald Lau. My very good friend, Carl Peterson, has lost, unfortunately. But anyway, Ronald Lau had a very good rapport. And Kumar Gera was elected, was nominated as the treasurer, I believe. He gave me choice. Well, Mr. Shrestha, would you like to have the Nordic countries, or you'd like to have West Indies, Belize, Bermuda and all? See, I was a very cricket fan, I was fond of the then cricketers like Basil Butcher, Gary Sobers and all. I said, Mr. President, given a choice, I'll prefer West Indies. I'll prefer the 16, 17 countries in the Caribbean. So that's how I was given the opportunity of serving 16 or 17. I had a wonderful time, Suman, there. They're all fun-loving people. The whole day I had to meet them, talk to them. They'll take me to head of state. They take me to television stations. The whole night they'll dance, they're fun-loving people. The Spanish-speaking people, I was assigned to Puerto Rico. I was assigned to Belize, the small islands, as I said, St. Kitts, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, Suriname. These are, and one thing I must tell you, in 73, when I had joined, I had heard about Roy Banarsi, the then world president. And I've heard from one of the Indian JC that I met in 75 that, Roy Banarsi, in parting speech that he gave as a world president in 73 World Congress, everybody stood for 10 minutes and gave a rousing applause. From that time, he was my unseen mentor. And fortunately, I was assigned to his country in Jamaica. And look at this great man. When I landed in Jamaica, Roy Banarsi, he had a lineage from Banaras, from India, 4-5 generations back. This great guy whom I used to really respect came to receive me at the airport. That was so nice of him. He took me for a coffee. We went to a restaurant, and that was a glorious moment for me. I had a lot of wonderful memories, I tell you. It's good to have the experience at the local level, at the national level, at the international level. And now, an old JC like me, who joined JCs 47 years back, Suman, once again, thanks to COVID, the present leadership, now we have, I think during our time, there were 14 or 15 loans. In the year 2000, the growth was vertical growth. Our time, it used to be horizontal with very conservative growth. So now we have 150 chapters. And so kind to the young minds of the present leadership, they call me, out of 120 days of lockdown, I must have attended almost 100 webinars. I think Suman Patton has been a leader in arranging webinars, and I've attended, I think, 7, 8 that you've arranged. And you see, for a person like me, who is physically, I'm not very young, but the mind is still young. When you get connected to the young minds, you become young too, both physically, mentally, and emotionally. Thanks to COVID, Suman and my dear friends, I'm enjoying my time talking to the young minds. JCs is at the right momentum. Well, there are a few controversies also. The controversies are there all over the world. We have political controversy. We have social problems. We also have problems in our loan. But anyway, the way things are moving in the JC movement in Nepal, I feel a lot of hope. I'm very, very positive. I'd like to thank all the young minds, all the leaders, the NOM leadership, the LOM leadership. And there is still one thing I'd like to mention, out of 156 LOMs, we have only 30 lady presidents. I think we should have more lady membership. Romana, the leadership that you have given to GCI APDC is fantastic. I've heard so much about you. It has been a wonderful time. And in JCI, also in Nepal, I think, I believe there'll be a lot of positive things, a lot of leadership from the half population is of ladies, We vote what kind of leaders we choose if they are not politically active. In JC also, I see a lot of young professionals are coming. in last hundreds webinars that I've attended. There has been beautiful webinars, beautiful trainings. You see the COVID, a lot of Nepalese now returning back from the Gulf countries to Nepal. So JC have started agriculture projects, to get them into the job, because we are still the agrarian economy, and there's a great opportunity for agriculture to develop in our country. And I'm very happy that young JCs in 150 loams are doing a lot of good works. Suman, I think
Yeah,
we are.
have covered a lot of things today regarding from starting from local to global level. And I'm sure all the listeners who are sitting around the globe are enjoying and knowing how the leadership should be and how we can start the leadership from scratch to make a big empire. So now we are almost the end of the session, Rajendra sir. So we are going to end, coming for end of the session. So for now, I want to thank you so much being a part of the APDC Connect Together Future Forward program and sharing about all the leadership skills from local to global level. And thank you all the listeners who are listening around the globe in Facebook Live and in Zoom chat box. Thank you all the participants. And please keep streaming www.jcapdc.com for the future and a lot of information there. So thank you. Keep supporting us in APDC Connects Together and Future Forward. Thank you, Rajendra sir, for this wonderful session. Thank you. And thank you everyone who was listening us in Zoom and Facebook Live. Thank you so much. And thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, Suman, and thank